All right, guys, I need professionals to tell me what in the world is wrong with my hands.
So we get a lot of questions like this at VMV as well, where people send us a photo of their hand or their face and say, what is this? And what can I do about it? Just to share some things that we normally answer on the regular. First is we suggest that you see a dermatologist or at the very least a health specialist, even if it's just a teleconsultation, because it is so hard to diagnose or even guess at what something could be based on just a photo or even just a video. One of the difficulties of relying on just photos or videos is that the lighting might not be the type to show really edges of the affected areas or really what we're looking at. Like, is it just redness? Are there raised sort of pustules or are there hives and that sort of thing? And most of the doctors we work with prefer an in-person consultation, and so they can actually really see in person what's happening all over, palpate to check for texture differences, use a dermoscope to get a really good view deep and close into what it is that you're dealing with. If you see a dermatologist or a health provider, they will be able to go through a lot more questions and investigate better what could be causing the problem that you're showing. Among other things, for example, they might ask, are you taking any medication to try to rule out an allergic reaction? What are you doing, mostly, let's say, that has contact with the affected area? Are you wearing gloves because it's the winter? Are you washing dishes? Someone mentioned this in the comments, actually, of the original post. It could be the dishwashing soap that you're using. It could be gloves. That can really only happen with a consultation. A teleconsultation is better than nothing. An in-person consultation is better, especially if this tends to be a chronic thing, because among other things, your dermatologist might ask you to undress so they can explore other aspects of or other areas of your skin that you might not be seeing, where the same problem might be occurring on your back or maybe on your knees, and that'll lead to a better diagnosis. The second thing that we then say is, if this is really chronic, you might want to ask your dermatologist about getting a patch test, which is kind of our middle name, but it really is effective. It can save you lots and lots of time and effort and pain and money versus random guessing and random trial and error. A skin patch test is not the same thing as a scratch or a prick test or a blood RAS test, which is usually for food and dander and other IgE mediated things. A skin patch test is particular to skin. So it would be on your back, patches to tell you what you're allergic to. And the nice thing about that is then you can find out really accurately if you need to change your dishwashing soap, if that's the issue, or you need to look for particular materials in the winter gloves that you use. The other thing about seeing a dermatologist for things like this is you might get prescribed a topical steroid. And if you are, it's important that you take it. But it's not a great idea to keep using that same topical steroid every time that this happens, because the steroid doesn't tell you what is causing it. And so if you just keep using the same topical steroid, you have other risks. We put up several videos about the risks of prolonged use of topical steroids. But also, if you just get a patch test and a proper consultation, then you might actually just never have to deal with this again. If it is your dishwashing soap, you can switch to something without fragrance or whatever it is that you patch test positive for. If it is your gloves, then you know to choose gloves that have an organic cotton lining or whatever, and then you won't need the topical steroid to deal with it, because you deal with it just with proper prevention. So there. I hope that you found clarity since posting. Definitely, if you have any questions for us, put them in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them. Be safe.